Hi, everybody. I'm Kathleen Byram, and I'm the author of Conversations with Donkey, A Bipolar Journey. I'd like to talk about childhood tonight, particularly mine and my friend Nancy's. I moved to Indianapolis from Virginia, if I remember correctly, and it was in about second grade that I landed at Whitehall Commons in Indianapolis. It was a condominium complex. Behind it was a creek. Behind that was a tennis court and a place to walk around and go on the bicycle path, and there was a wooded round area. If you keep going that way, you come to the woods, and you can walk through the woods and come out to a lovely meadow. That's the way it was when I lived there. Who knows what they've done to it now? But I was looking at it the other day through Google to see how things have changed. And it's lovely. The trees are big now. And it's all nice and shaded and with wonderful places to sit and relax. I remember when I first found out about Nancy, I heard about her before I saw her, I think. Uh-oh, there's the kitty. I hope it doesn't disturb you. Anyway, it was like Fantasyland, being able to run around there and have fun and not be bothered and be safe. We were safe there. I always felt safe there. It felt like a community area or something. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But we had a creek. And when I first met Nancy, it was down at the creek, because what Nancy liked to do was fish and catch crawdads in the creek. And I soon learned to do that too. And we would kneel on these two great big rocks that were in this one place in the creek. And we would get on there and kneel with our butts up in the air, looking down into the water. And we would see the crawdads, or we would move some rocks and maybe see one, and we would get it by its back, very gently, of course, not squishing them, and pull it up so that it couldn't pinch us, and put it into the bucket of water. And we would gloat over them and how big they were and stuff like that, and watch them a little bit, and then we'd let them go back in. We could spend all day in the summer doing this. And it went down, it had wonderful grassy banks, and it went down to the school playground. The school was within walking distance. We were just separated with a chain link fence, and we would just walk through the little door of the fence and go back to the school. And it was all so nice. I'm thinking about one time when I was walking home, and there was this boy who bothered me. And I think the reason he bothered me was because one day I was walking home, and I came upon the sight of this boy, and he had several children standing around watching what he was doing, and he was holding a boy that Mom took care of in her daycare up by the collar. And I walked up there and didn't even think about it. I just slapped his face. And of course he dropped him immediately, and I told the kids to run. And so the little kids did, but the older kids stood by to see what would happen, of course. And he immediately punched me right in the nose. Well, he must have pulled the punch because it was like nothing at all. You know, it didn't break it or hurt it or anything. I know the light makes my nose look like it's broken, but it's not really. It's normally, you know, it's a normal nose. It's not twisted looking like the light makes it look. But he punched me in the nose, and I just stood there and stared at him like, that wasn't so bad. And then I turned around and left. And after that, I think he took that as a challenge, because he would follow me on the way home from school and poke me with, what was it he was doing? I think he was kicking me in the butt as I was trying to walk. And this guy was a little bully, and I had heard that he did things to other friends of ours down by the creek. And so what happened with him? Something happened with him. It was glorious, delicious comeuppance. One day, I was out at the house. There were houses behind the condominiums where we lived that we moved into after a few years. So we had a house back there, and I was back there, and we were playing on the pogo stick, me and my friend B. I'll call her B. And we heard this sound. And what should appear to our wondering eyes but a ball of action coming down the sidewalk. And what it was some very naughty girls who had gotten a hold of the bully. And they were going to put makeup on him. Now, this is a perfect karma for him, and he richly deserved it. And as they were holding him and trying to get a good grasp on him, and we were staring with delight, my friend B said, I'm going to jump on your you-know-what. She was on a pogo stick. Boing, boing, boing. I'm sure that noise still strikes terror in his mind, because he broke away from the girls and he ran down the bicycle path and he got away. And they were laughing and shrieking and trying to catch him, and he got away. And I was never bullied by him again. Isn't that a delicious little tale? That was a great place to live, and I loved it. And that's all I'm going to tell you for now, because it's getting on 9 minutes. And this thing's going to take forever to download. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.